we find ourselves yet again out here on Revontuli Coast, still looking for, I believe, 7 more species that we don't have a diamond of, and one of them is the mountain hare, and this one is decent, but not into the max weight range, but we'll take that and get going here. Now, I've got a plan for at least a little bit of a different approach than the normal hunts out here, pretty much anytime when recording a video, especially when it gets later on into a hunt and we've shot a lot of stuff. If there is, say, like a smaller male or something like that, a lot of times I'll just pass it and not even shoot it, because when the ammo count starts to dwindle and there's no animals on screen, I feel like that can just kind of cause a little bit of confusion. But because there are so many species that we still need a diamond of, I think for at least this hunt and probably going forward on this map, if there is like one of those smaller males that aren't so special, I'll probably go ahead and shoot it to get the respawns, but it likely won't be shown in the video. So if the ammo count in this one just suddenly jumps down like 10 bullets or something like that, hopefully that's a sign of a lot of respawns for future hunts. Well, this is, I guess, a bit of an exception. I've never seen a level 1 male raccoon dog till now, but at least in theory, this kind of approach does 3 different things. Outside of shooting level 1s because they could be Hall of Shame animals, it should improve the overall quality of animals in these videos, because the ones that maybe aren't so special are going to be just cut out. It also should kind of help with our respawns, because rather than passing those things up, we are at least shooting them, they're just not shown in the actual video. And the last thing is, which maybe isn't as obvious, because we're actually shooting some of those things, there's always the chance for something like a dark brown or an orange raccoon dog that maybe wouldn't be super obvious, or some of the other rares that maybe we wouldn't be able to identify really easily. We might end up shooting one of those thinking it would just be a regular kill for a respawn, and then that's something we'd actually have as a rare. But 3.3 obviously kind of messed it up with the intestine shot. I've had angles like that get into the liver, but that one did not. Regardless though, good little Hall of Shame edition. But yeah, maybe other than that one, we'll see an average improvement of the animals in this hunt. If I'm not mistaken, that should be the max weight black grouse that we've been following. And unfortunately, not a level 3. I don't even know, maybe that last one actually hit him? None of those seem to go all that well. He's coming back this way. Did none of those hit? That would be something if all those shots managed to miss, but he went up to 122. He has a 113, so barely max weight. We actually hit him once when he was standing there, but it would have taken a long time to bring him down. So at least another one for respawns, but I really do like this approach. We started this hunt at, I think it was 49,186 harvest. We're moving quite quickly as we just continue to get things for eventual respawns, and as excited as I am about that for future hunts, I do feel like we're about due for a diamond on this map. It's been a while outside of like random Caper Kayleys on streams. We had a really good stretch of just about every hunt, whether it was the ptarmigan over and over again, the ducks, we had, even if it's not a diamond, we had the albino moose. Something like that hasn't happened in probably 4 or 5 hunts in a row. So either way, whether it's today or from the efforts that we're putting in today, I like taking this approach a lot better. I don't think I've ever seen that, and of course, there's a level 3 tufted duck. Why would there not be on this map? We only, for some reason, get diamond tufted ducks of the new duck species. I don't even know where it went. It must have been one of the ones that walked behind the tree. There he is. So that's a guaranteed diamond, I think. Or maybe diamond is 966. Now, I've talked many times about wanting to get all of the new waterfowl diamonds out of the air, and specifically out of the air with a shotgun, but we've done that with tufted ducks. We've also shot a diamond tufted duck out of the air with the 22, and I think in this case, rather than spend a bunch of time trying to either like set up decoys and a blind and all that, and try to get him out of the air with a shotgun, we've done it already. We're gonna go ahead and try to plink him off the ground with the 22 and just continue forward. For other species, definitely will, like, if this were, say, Eurasian teal, we would try to set up and get them that way, but it's gonna take a lot of setup and potentially a lot of waiting. I don't see a point in doing that, so let's make sure we get the drop correct. There's a chance that could be our biggest diamond tufted duck, but I don't even know, like, I've always said that there's seemingly something with individual hunters having better luck with some species, Javelina on Rancho del Arroyo were a really good example. I had probably 5 diamonds, and I never grinded for them, never really shot that many, and level 5s just kept on showing up, and that's what seems to be happening here on Revontuli with the tufted duck, and that is part of the reason. Not the entire reason, but part of the reason that we often hunt in multiplayer. It just kind of maybe helps even some of those odds, but we'll continue that thought in just a second. Let's see what we have for this guy. 967, barely made it. Diamond is 963 though, so he was a guarantee. I was hoping to see a little bit bigger than that. I think 1000 flat is the max, but even still, cool little diamond tufted duck number 3. I do like them, so no complaints. We'll definitely take down maybe an old diamond harlequin, or maybe an old diamond cinnamon teal for that. But yeah, between, in multiplayer having the ability to, maybe have better odds for other species than you may on your own map, and also just the unknown of what's out there in general, that's often why I've enjoyed it. But I really do like coming back here to Revontuli with this single player challenge, and maybe having to overcome some of those not so good odds. I believe you can do it regardless, even if your odds are not that good for any particular species, and I should clarify, that is only conjecture. I don't know that it works that way, but 5+ years of examples where I'll have bad luck with one particular animal and really good luck with another, and other people seem to have sort of opposite luck, so it's what I can only assume. But yet another diamond tufted duck out here on Revontuli, no complaints. I did say I thought we were due for something good today. What is going on? Now we have a level 3 whitetail. I saw as he kind of stooped down to drink that might have been this small diamond rack. It's one of those days that I'm just going to roll with the punches here. I like what I'm seeing so far. If we can, we'll try to slot that into a lung. I didn't really remember exactly what the range was, but figured we shouldn't aim too low there. I've done it like one other time where I misranged it, went for a heart shot, and actually shot right under the heart. And with whitetail, any of those calibers, 30-06, 308, anything in that kind of range, it actually will kill a whitetail even with a flesh hit. So that's a mistake you don't want to make, although I will say, the direction these does are running, pretty good chance the buck would have went the same way and we could have gotten a follow-up, but I just decided to kind of turn and go another direction. So there is right here at this lake, one of the little boats that takes you across that I've actually not been to yet. And I really was only going over here just to discover that, and mostly because, since it obviously wasn't on the map, I knew that I hadn't gone to this area, and what do you know? Our second level 3 from, of course, a species, in this case, that we have many diamonds of over the years. But let's see, nice looking rack. I don't know that he's wide enough. Maybe. He is actually 256.3, so how about back-to-back diamonds on Revontuli Coast? Not any of the 7 species that we still need, but it really is encouraging. Like I said, we've been, I don't know, for 3-4 weeks now when we have gone back to Revontuli, just really not running into anything good, and that is a little bit of my approach today, just trying to go into places that we haven't been. Thus far it's working out, and hopefully we can just continue that. So apparently, we're not going to get so lucky to have back-to-back-to-back level 3s of 3 different species, but at least a kind of decent black grouse here. And by the way, I probably should mention the tufted duck and the whitetail were legitimately back-to-back. In this case, there were a bunch of like smaller animals and stuff anyway that weren't included in the video that wouldn't technically make anything back-to-back-to-back here, but actually brain shot that with the 12 gauge bird shot. I thought the shot was a little bit high, but managed to take that down. And again, we're kind of taking that same approach of like weaving between lakes and just trying to go through areas that I otherwise maybe would kind of avoid on any other hunt. And it seems to be working, at least in terms of kill count, and obviously earlier worked in terms of quality of animals. It's gonna be a bit of a tight window, but I think maybe we can squeeze a shot in through to that level 7 brown bear. He is a max weight estimate bear, and he is about 240 meters out, so with 308, well, I was going to say that would be difficult, but I guess he's just heading off to another spot. Probably in this window here. We should be able to get a long hit and wait for him to throw a second shot out there. Maybe to get him down a little more quickly. He's actually still not starting to drop. It was, though, enough to bring him down. So I didn't even go to the initial blood, so not sure where he was hit, but low bleed rate from 2 308 shots. At least one of those couldn't have hit a lung. There's no way they could have both been single lung, I don't think. Flesh the first time, kind of right into the leg there. The angle's fine, but due to the amount of flesh we gotta go through to get into the lungs, it stopped the bullet from getting there, and then that follow-up actually was what did it, so glad we took the extra shot. Nice little red-brown at 25.9, and again, just an opportunity for an extra respawn. But as we are continuing through here, we're starting to get up into the mountains a little bit, so maybe some opportunities again at some black grouse, and probably we will wrap up here somewhere as we continue north. Ooh, that is interesting. A max weight mountain hare track here, and I bet that it's probably still around. Got the rest zone here. It is currently in that time frame, so my best guess would be it fled off in this direction. Now, we've been through here plenty of times, so I'm going to assume this is a respawn from one of our past hunts. And as we know with, I'm pretty sure every rabbit species in the game, maybe other than European rabbits since they burrow, eventually this thing is just going to flee and stop, and in fact, it is right there. It is a level 2, and I don't know if it was our last hunt out here or the one before. We had the same kind of thing, where a max weight track wasn't even the higher score estimate, so I'm pretty sure this has no shot at being diamond, but if diamond is 5 point something, technically a 4 to 5 estimate would give it at least like a slight chance, and it's good to see again we've had a couple of max weight female mountain hares recently. It's always, you know, at least a little bit of optimism when those pop up, but as for this one, 5.1, so I mean technically over 5, 5.6 is diamond though, would have been quite a stretch to get up to that with a 4 to 5 estimate, but even still, good to see that. I like this light brown variation as well. One of the better looking ones in the game, but we'll continue up here through the mountains. I'm kind of thinking whether there's only one more kill in the video or however many it ends up being. I want to get 8 more kills that would put us on 50 for the entire hunt, and you know, maybe we can end up getting something else cool to add to the trophy lodge, but that's been the big thing. All those respawns should really help. Well, perhaps not the most interesting candidate for our 50th harvest of the day, but I think it is going to be at least one of the rock ptarmigan that we take down here. Going back earlier to what I mentioned about, we had a streak of a bunch of hunts where we would get a diamond of something. Rock ptarmigan were in, I think, at least one of those, if not 2. So just going ahead and taking out a couple that maybe could end up respawning as another future diamond. They do look really good, and of the 2 diamond rock ptarmigans that we have, they're the same plumage type, and I'd love to get one of the other ones that are available, but we're going to jump back to the trophy lodge for our tufted duck at least. And I am kind of intrigued to see just how long this video ends up being, because normally I have a good idea based on the amount of kills, but with 50 plus and just, I don't know how many were actually included and how many weren't, I'll be really interested to see if this is an approach we can go with in the future, but adding another diamond to the wall with our diamond tufted duck, and of course the diamond whitetail that's going to go into the second lodge. No new species diamonds, still have those 7 yet to get, but 2 diamonds of species we already had is a lot better than no diamonds, and 50 harvests hopefully will allow us to get some of those new species diamonds in the next outing out there on Revontuli Coast. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.